lead you through our Lord, we prevail. I've gotten more information this time from the state of Michigan that somebody drew unemployment in my name. In 2020, while we were homeless in the VA homeless hotel, somebody drew $13,000 of unemployment in my name. $13,000. So, and I also saw evidence that in 2017, when I was let go from my job because repeated daycare problems, I somebody drew unemployment in my name there too. That was like $6,000 or $7,000. I went there, and the guy that worked there, I mean, he's familiar. I think I've seen him around the community since then. I mean, it's a Saginaw unemployment office, but he denied me. He said, "Oh no, because of some really, I don't know, it was some crazy reason." He said, "You're $100 short. You can't draw your unemployment." It was something like that. Some reason I was like, "What?" And I tried to look it up. It didn't exist. I'm like, I tried to find this rule you're talking about, and I don't see it there. He's like, "Well, you're not going to collect it from here." Then I found out later somebody did. Somebody collected $6,000 or $7,000 of unemployment. I even appealed. Guy's like, yeah, I appreciate your appeal. I encourage you. It's the same guy. I encourage you, but still denied. Um, I don't like that guy. I'm pretty sure that I've seen him around Buena Vista, older African American guy. Um, I don't really like him. I felt like he encouraged me to appeal, and then he just denied me. And I said, "Can I talk to the supervisor?" He said, "I am the supervisor." Just to toy with me. Really bad person. Somebody collected it, and now I just found out in 2020 somebody collected $13,000 in my name. People keep using my identity. Nobody does anything about it. And now I want to get a job so I can work my 5 years, make 10,000 a year for 5 years, then I can retire. I have ample medical issues. Any examiner who denies me, they're out of their mind, and they'll be exposed. I will expose them to protect other people. I don't like predators, and I believe that Jesus would not like predators either. I think that Jesus was a child protector, because the passages that he said before, and what he did in the temple. I guess the area would be called a vestibule, and actually, no, I think it's open air. It wouldn't be called a vestibule. It'd be called vestibule is roofed. It has a roof. Promenade, maybe a promenade. Anyway, and then he always, the the really abusive and predatory religious leadership. Not all of them. People try to spin Jesus like he hated the leadership of the day, the Sanhedrin. Not true. He hated the hypocrites on the Sanhedrin. And he hated the hypocrites who were rabbis. Jesus was a good Jew. And I'm sick of people saying he was not Jewish. He was Jewish. Our faith takes a lot from Judaism. You could say that Christianity is a righteous Gentile version of Judaism with the Messiah. I guess that's how you could, if you wanted to label it. A lot of stuff is geared towards everybody, Jew and Gentile. Achieving Tzedek, righteous Gentile status, even if they're Jewish. So it's we take much from there, and anyway, so Jesus didn't like predators. He really didn't, and I'm talking about. Of course, you wouldn't like sexual predators, but he's just talking about predatory personalities. If you look at anybody he had a conflict with, again and again, it was predatory personalities. Even being respectful and to a certain extent obedient, the situations he was placed in, even with Roman and with early Israel government employees. But no matter who people were, Jesus would take a predator to task. Doesn't matter who they were. So, even with Pilate, when he says, "Are you the king of the Jews?" and he says, "You say I am." So he's pointing the question right back at Pilate. Who do you say I am? Other words, kind of giving Pilate an open door. Do you believe I'm the Messiah? Or are you going to send me to die? And in the end, interesting turn of events, he did send him to die, and Pilate washed his hands. We still continue this in the liturgy till the day, even till this day. The priest washed his hands, and he says an ablution, just like Pilate did. And so, did Pilate accept Christ and look at him on the cross and say, I think this man was the Son of God. I think he was the Mashiach in a way. We'll never know. He certainly didn't become a righteous man, but then again, maybe it was a seed was planted, and on his deathbed it matured. You never know. But anyway, Jesus didn't like predators, and I hold to that too. That's even in our family crest. We hold these sacred mysteries as truth, to fight evil and protect innocence. So that being said, yeah, apparently in 2020 somebody collected 13,000 in my name too, while we were at that homeless hotel. It doesn't say where. It just says somebody collected $13,000 in my name. And nobody does anything about it.